Alright, so this is a transmission take apart. Hopefully I don't have anybody here to help me hold the phone, so hopefully I could walk you guys through how to open one of these things. Well, what you want to do first is, I already taken all these bolts off, these 12mm. It's what holds the casing on there, as you guys can see. In the front right here, there's these guys and one right there. I believe that's the shortest one. There's those. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're gonna have to take those off. Those are these guys right here, and you don't want to pull them off when the transmission casing off of it without pulling these guys first, because you'll ruin these things. I've done it before, and these guys will get caught up inside there as you're pulling the casing off of it. These guys will stretch out and pull off, and these are very important because it holds your selectors down. The ball in these guys sits kind of like right there, so it selects the gear. If you're having like gear popping out, it's usually pretty common because these springs are bad and they're pushed in, so they don't hold your selector as good. And then the other things you need to pull out is this guy. I don't know what that sensor's for, but I can always look it up. There's that guy, this guy. You pull this guy out. Very important. On top of the transmission, you want to release this lock. So you'll need some needle nose. I already have it off, but you'll need some needle nose to pry that open. Once you get that open, you just I popped this off already, so it's gonna be very easy for me to just pop this casing right off. And when you get all those off, you just kind of pull the housing out. Let me see if I could just do this with one hand. And once you get all those off, let me see if I'm gonna set the phone over there. There you go. Yeah. So now it's all off. Whoop, let me focus that real quick. And there's how the inside is. Big advice, if you guys are doing it the first time, I recommend you take some pictures of every little details, because that's what I did the first time I pulled off a transmission. Just take pictures. Just take pictures. If you're not sure how this guy sits in there, take pictures. Let me see if I can focus on that. Take pictures, because when you pull it off and have all these screws sitting around, you won't know how to put them back in, and it's gonna ruin your day. You're gonna be asking a bunch of questions on forums, checking synchros, gears. Make sure these guys don't chip. These are just the gears. I'm sure. I believe that's. Let me see, where's that? I'm not sure. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the main shaft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it goes over here. It goes 1, 2. No, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What you want to do is, if you guys ever check on the transmission, see if the synchros are still good and the gears are still good. What you want to, these synchros right here, you want to push them down. That one, just push them down evenly. And like this one, it's almost on its way to go out. You want that little gap right here. You see that gap? What it is, it's got a little cone. So when this goes down, if you guys can see this, I'm going to do this with one hand. See how that gear is spinning? Well, when this selector right here, goes down to select on the gear, it's gonna go onto this spring right there. Let me see if I can focus. It's gonna push this synchro down, and it's got like a cone shape in there, and it goes onto the gear. So when you push them down, it's gonna lock the gear. You see how it's kind of harder to spin now, but if it's freely and then you push that down, it's having a hard time spinning. If this gap right here is touching the gear, you will have a grinding gear problem. So you want it to have some gap on it, because that cone shape, when it comes down, when you select the gear, that cone is gonna go into it and stop the gear from shifting into gears. Yeah, I had to learn that. You know, I don't know. It just took me a while before I figured out how to work on the transmission. So what you want to do here, back to this, you want to pull this guy off. So once you pull this guy off, bam, set everything on to the side. You'll take this guy out. Yeah, there's a spring down here. Let's see if I can get this off. Yes, if you guys can see in there. Oh, there it is. So there's this guy. Yeah, I had a guy that asked me how to put this back in. And let me see if I can put this back in real quick for you guys. Oh, sorry, cut that video off as I was setting the phone down. Let me see if I could set this phone right here. Oh, wrong side. Well, stop that real quick. So that's how the spring looks like. Bam. It's kind of got that little cross, so if you pull this off, that spring comes off like this. So what you want to do is, here's the better, let's see if I can. You want to push that. Oh, fuck. Well, they're gonna crisscross. This is how they're gonna do. They're gonna crisscross. Bam. That's how it's gonna look like. And then pull this off. This guy will come off. That guy will come off. This gear right here, you wanna pull them all in one piece. It's kind of hard to switch. That gear is gonna come off. It's gonna be some washer. Some shims, washer. I usually pull them out all at one time. Due to, because you got, oh shit, I just dropped everything. Well, on the top there's that one. There's two. Flip it upside down. This guy goes in. Let's see. There's this guy over here. Let's see how it goes back in again. Okay, that's how it goes in. So that guy goes first. This guy. Then this guy. So you get these guys in there. You set them off to the side. After you get done with this. And then it goes into the gears. This guy's pulls off. It's got a little thing right there that it sits on. These are just little oil squirters. Pull that guy off, set him off to the side. There's one in here too. Pull that off, put them to the side, and then you'll get into all that gearing stuff. And what you want, I usually, the easiest way for me to do is pull these two and everything right here. Just grab everything and just pull it off. Boom, right off the top. See if I can set this phone off to the side, and here we go. You want to pull everything off all at one time. Pull them all off. side. Now you're back to this. There's this little selector gear. Get to the diff. These guys are taper bearings, so it's really easy to pull them out. Bam. Now you get one of these. Putting it back in, you slide these guys. Oh yeah, here. Let me show you guys a little bit on the diff. So this is the LSD diff. These guys are where all the holes are drilled in for this LSD diff to go in. Okay, let's reassemble this. I want to do this all at once so I don't have to edit the video later. And you guys gonna have to bear with this video. You guys could just skip it. Hopefully get to what you guys really needed. Putting this back together is the same way. Oh yeah, there's another gear right there. So putting this back together is the same way. You pull it right back off. If you guys ever trying to change synchros on these things, just kind of flip them upside down. If you guys flip them upside down, pull them off. When you put it back in, just put it back the same way you guys put it from. And like I said from the beginning of the video, what you guys ever do, just if you guys are not sure what you're doing, just take pictures. And once you guys take pictures, you know, you could always go back and find out what you guys needed to do. God, what the fuck? Shut up. Before I throw you back inside. Alright, so let me put this. Alright, so these guys, the selectors, we'll put these, bam, selectors back in. Man, I'm trying to work with this with one hand. I ain't got nobody out here. Alright, so there's that. These guys to line up and set this phone back down. So you want to line these guys back up again, because let's see if I could get this phone focus on what I'm doing. Whoa. Yeah. Set back in. It's always easier to do it like this, and then you want to line these holes up. See where all these selector goes. Go there. Wiggle it in. Bam. Goes right back in there. Bam. There's this guy. So yeah, it's all in there. Alright, so my video kept shutting off. I didn't realize it shut off when I was putting those in, but I'm gonna take it back apart. I'm gonna show it to you guys. Alright, let's see if I can focus this thing a little bit. Alright, there we go. I have to pull this back out. This is how this looks like. Let's get a little gear. Oh, let's off a little bit. Oh, fuck. So my video kind of stopped there for a second. Okay, let's get back to it. I didn't even know this thing stopped again. So we're back to this guy. Small gear on the bottom. There's 3. You know, the little shim. It's the bearing. Let's see if you guys can see this. It's a little bearing. 1. Another bigger shim. And there's a small one. On top, there's 1, 2. What you want to do is, the easiest way for me to always putting this back together is putting these guys in all together. What you want to do is slide this back into the little selector here. Kind of push this up a little bit. And as you slide them in, let's see if you guys can see this. Let me move the phone over a little bit. There we go. Oh, there it is. So, when you slide this in, put this one in kind of in it first. Slide the other one over. And then, as soon as you slide this guy over a little bit, that guy goes in. It pops in. So, that's where it goes in. Now, go on to this piece. So, this guy, see, this side goes into this. And then this guy over here goes into that right there. If you slide this in, boop, slide that in. This piece goes in, and it just holds in. Oh, there he goes. Now to this part. See how this guy, it sits. Let me see if I can. What you want to do is, it's gonna sit like this in between the pin. Whoa! Yep, like this. Squeeze that over. It's gonna sit like that. Pop it off. Squeeze it over. So you're gonna slide this in here. See how this spring, let me see if I can focus. Bam. See how it sits like that? This thing pops off too. And then onto those guys, you want this piece right here goes into that little gap. And then you see how this piece right here comes off? You want that in between this, so it lines up, so it'll sit something like this. And then as you put them in, that little nipple looking thing goes in between that. So if you slide this in, and then it pops into that. In the back side, there's these, as you can see, there's these little, all these little lining things back here. There's a couple of them. See how it's got all these little things back here? You want it to line up too. So, see if I could do this by putting my phone back down over here and focus. There we go. Then that piece goes in between it. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Oops. Wow. Okay. Goes in there. This guy. You want to make sure this side sits where the starter side is at. Slide that in. Now on to the next one. Bam. This piece goes right through it. And then there's a hole on the bottom that's going to line it all up. Oh, this thing came off. Let's see if I can get this thing. I didn't notice that thing came off. There we go. So this, bam. So everything sits in. Right back in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. So all that. Now this is where, so this is all where it goes in. You put the little oil squirter. This one, the little one that goes like this. This one goes over here. Right into that hole. There's a little clip back there. And there's a long one. As you can see, there's little hoses on there. All the way through. So it goes in here. Let's see if I can get that. Oh, there it is. Yes. So since everything is back in there, the most annoying part is getting the casing back on with this piece, which is this. So you want to line this. Let me see which one is. Yeah, this one. You want to try to get that in between this as you're putting the casing back on. That's the most annoying thing on the J series that you have to do when you put the casing on. Alright, let's see if I can put this back on. Put the silicone back on, you know, Honda Bond, whatever you guys are using, just so it doesn't leak. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, I missed one right here. Hopefully I get this thing out. Missed the ball here. I'll just use this casing over here. Yeah. So you want this guy in between there. What I do is down, measure from the side. See if you can catch it. Line up from the top. It can be a pain sometimes. Like I said, this is the only thing that's annoying about this. Oh shit. This is the wrong one. Alright. I thought I was going to be able to use that one, but I'm just going to go back to this one because I want to pull that 12mm out. I missed one right here. Pull this spring out. This guy. I fucked that up. I told you, if you guys don't pay attention to it, you'll leave one in there. So there's one right on the side of the shifter right here. I don't know if you guys can see it from way back there. here next to it. But yep, what you're gonna do. All right, let's go back. Slide this in. Alright, stop this. Let's see if I can get you guys the video down here. See this? Ah, shit. Let me see. Focus, focus, focus. You see that piece right there? It's supposed to go in between this little gap right here. So, line them up. Go in. Hopefully this is it there. If you don't get it lined up, that's how it's gonna turn out. So you're gonna have to pop this thing back off again. Kind of maneuver it at the same time you're putting it in there. Oh, let's see if it's in there. Okay, there it is. There you go. Casing closed. Still has gap on it. See how it's still got the little gap on it. What it is you're gonna have to go back up here, pull this off. Let's see if I can. Yeah, it's a little off. Let's see if I can pull it off. Sorry, dude. I know this. I don't have anybody else right here today to help me on this, so okay, move it over a little bit. See that piece right here? It has to lock back onto that bearing. There's a little gap in between it. So what we do here is, come on, focus, focus, focus. Open it back up. Bam. So when you open it back up, it's gonna sit like this. So it sits kind of flush now. I'm just making a video how to just put it in. But you want to put Honda Bond or some kind of silicone to seal it back in. And when you seal it back in, this pin right here is gonna close on you. It's gonna sit right in between that gap. And then you gotta make sure this thing shifts. It's that. Come on, focus. So it doesn't shift now. Oh, there it is. That's where these guys come to play. These little guys. Or else you're gonna have a lot of shaft play. I mean, not shaft play, fork play in there. That's why these guys go in here to hold them all down. So that's pretty much how you put them in. And well, I'm gonna have to open this back up and reseal it. So once you get the hang of that, you just kind of open this back up, pry it open. Like I said, to get to it, there's these 12 bolts that holds it down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I missed that one, and 6 on the side. If you pull those off, they are these guys with the spring inside of it, looking like this. Once you pull those guys off, there's also this sensor on the side right here. Let's see if I can find that sensor. This guy. There's that guy that sits on the side right here. Pull that off. Also another sensor. What's this one? Yeah, it sits right here. Get those guys off, and the transmission casing will go back in. Fuck, dude, this motherfucking video got me long. I think it's just because I didn't have nobody to hold the phone for me, too. Yeah. I'm not really good with all those editing stuff, so whatever I'm doing here, it's what I'm doing. Alright. Hope you guys enjoy this video, or if there's any question, like I said, just feel free to ask me, and I'll try to answer you guys on the messages or comments. Alright, later guys.